This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
You just called me by my government name. The hell are you doing? Cancel Warlord. What the hell? Mr. Mullins. God, I haven't been called that in forever. I forget my name in Mullins most of the time. What, the government of the crown? Nobody cares. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking Wednesday. Holiday, Warlord, Julie. Good evening. T-Minus in here. Anybody else sneak in on me? Not yet. There's still plenty of you people, though. Why are you calling me my government name? Seriously. That's upsetting to me. Not because of, like, I don't like it or anything. I've got no problem with my government name. Tadpole, Flash. That's where Muffins comes from, because shit used to autocorrect my name to Muffins. So that's where I adopted the nickname Muffins from. Because I don't even like muffins. So, Julie, last night, I think you were here. You guys know that I was, like, rationing out my last little bit of green. I smoked the last of it on stream. The good thing I walked to the pot store a little bit ago and re-upped because I am not high enough for this shit. That one got me. Shit. That was my first bong rip in a few days, so that might be it. Was it? And I cleaned it. I cleaned it completely, so. Woo! Holy shit. My eyes look like Young Buck after he was arrested. I'll show you his mugshot here later, because we got news to be covering. A baseball player, a former MLB player, was killed in a roof collapse at a nightclub in the Dominican Republic. God damn, that one got me. Oof. We've got arrests in the mass shooting that happened last night. We had a lockdown on a campus for a school shooting today. America's back, baby. The stock market posted its single day largest point gain in history. Tadpole, Flash. We're going to talk all about the tariffs, the possible market manipulation, the fact that they had an error in their math formula. And I'm going to tell you exactly why Trump backtracked on tariffs today. Because his daddy told him to. Daddies. We got Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's just like been on fire today. I got her versus Representative Stansberry first thing this morning. They got into it. It was a heated battle. Then this afternoon in a completely different committee hearing, her and Dan Goldman got into it. So I got both clips. There's apparently a third one. And I was like, I just don't have enough time for all this Marjorie Taylor Greene today. The Supreme Court has declined to stop the Karen Reed trial. That's the woman accused of... Oh, yeah, there's my sticker from the weed store. I always get the kitty. Like, they've got like a gazillion of these kitties. I always get the kitty with the eyeballs. Because he's like, be sure to take your sticker. You bought the sticker. Everything else is extra. Because I asked him about it. I was like, it was supposed to be commercial already in like 2023. And then we got a Republican governor. and we're in this weird limbo where they already legalized weed, but for some reason they don't want to tax it and make money off of it. It's a very weird situation to be in. So like, you can grow weed here, you can possess weed. I can go buy it from a store, but I'm not actually buying weed. I'm buying something else and they're giving me weed. It's the weirdest fucking thing. I don't like this system. I disapprove of this system. Torchy, Lenny, clinically, I think we should be collecting. By the way, I might have said something on Twitter that'll get the FBI on me. It's possible, so prepare for that. I like, even like after I hit send on it, I was like, ooh, that might get a knock on my door. But then again, like, I could probably parlay that into you know, promotion for the show. It was like an article that was like, leftists are justifying death to Elon and Trump, and I'm like, yeah, hang them up like Mussolini, their families too. Oh, I shouldn't have said that on stream. It's time for guillotines. It's time to raise the boards. It's time to sharpen blades. We just can't take this anymore. Those peaceful protests just were not cutting it. Martin Luther King and Gandhi both can go suck a dick. Az, welcome in. Tier 2. Oh, shit. Nobody clipped that. You were probably already on a watch list for being in this stream. Put me in Gitmo, you fucking fascist. Georgie, I had just taken a bong rip that killed me. I just re-upped. And I'll try to take another one, but God. Oh, I'm still. Oh. Seriously, Flash. And thank you for looking out on me on Twitter. You've always got my back, and I appreciate that. Now, if you would like to do me a favor on Twitter, because I can no longer pose messages to this guy. Remember the YouTuber that we watched that thought he had exposed paid protesters, and I made the video? Man, that video turned out way better than I could have ever imagined. Like, as I'm editing it, the pieces just fell like perfectly, and like I'm accusing the dude of not realizing she's mocking him, and then like her eyes are going back in her head on the screenshot. Like I'm giving him advice not to like be doing YouTube videos on a joke that he's falling for, and like he responds, and it's like, seriously, I swear that might be the best video I've ever made, at least for the Troll Patrol. If you guys haven't checked it out, if you weren't here the other night, we watched this right-wing YouTuber that thought he had exposed a paid protester at the Hands Off event. It was this Kevin 24/7 dude. He's got like 250,000 subscribers on YouTube. You know, he's got videos with a million or so views. The Trump-Musk breakup has already happened. We've been playing Sad Elon the last couple of nights. I think Elon was the one stopping him from putting the tariffs on. Woo! Oregon gal, so good to see you. I feel like you haven't been around in a couple weeks. I hope everything's been okay. I know you were having some issues there back last year, so I hope they haven't been persisting. Very nice to have you back. But yeah, do check out the video I made about Kevin 24/7 that got me almost immediately blocked from his Twitter. Oh, did it come? I think Ash was talking about that the other day. She was talking about Handmaid's Tale, and I'm like, I'm a Media Winch. I used her government name. What the hell's with the government names tonight? People calling me Mullins? Me calling her Ash? What the fuck? Tones! Tones, my friend, welcome back in. It is, okay, so it's the opposite of a pump and dump, because I don't really... Yeah, everybody drop your government names in the chat, along with your social security and your mom's birthday. Here was Trump earlier today speaking on his 90-day pause on tariffs against everybody but China. Pause all tariffs but China. By the way, they said that they had 50 or more. Battle Opossum, good evening. They said that they had 50 or more. Fake number, okay. As long as we're doing it. Hey, Jesse, what's up? How you doing, my friend? Battle Opossum is my best friend, Jesse Lundis. We've been doing government names. I'm sorry. The first comment in the chat was my fucking government name. So they said, rumors of your death have been greatly exaggerated. I'm so glad to hear that, Oregon gal. It's all been about bong rips. Yeah, Jesse wanted me to get high with him earlier, and my phone was dead. And for some reason, Facebook doesn't let me answer calls anymore on my computer. So, with the D. Jesse Lundis from Munda. What up, John Collins? Isn't that a liquor? Isn't John Collins a liquor? I don't drink, so... That's a Tom Collins. And it's not a liquor, it's a drink, isn't it? What up, Tom Collins? Line one up, did one back. Middle name? Well, you want to know my middle name? You want to know Justin Derek Mullins? When I went to 8th grade, my mom, I'd been a real troublemaker in the 7th grade. Yeah, can you imagine? I ran my mouth a lot. Who would ever thunk it? I got in trouble a lot in the 7th grade, so my mom yanked me out of public school and put me into private school. I had to go to a Christian school. So I went to a Christian school for my 8th grade year. When first day of school, they asked you, what is there a name you want to go by? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to say Derek. I'm going to go by Derek now. And after that first day of school I came out, I told my mom about it. I was like, I'm going to go by Derek now. And she's like, the hell you are? You can march right in there and tell them your name is Justin. I didn't name you Derek. I was like, yes, you did. Your name is Justin. Go in there and tell them. I was like, well, shit. I think she doesn't like Freakin. I don't think she likes Freakin. I think she likes Justin Mullins. Oh. That's her married name. Who would have an attachment to their married name to a dude they didn't even like? Oh wow, I'm really getting into it. And also, the Christian school was awesome. I got taught evolution at the Christian school my 8th grade year, as it was taught to me in college, as I know it to be, pretty much now. Because this would have been 98, 99, something like that. No, it would have been 97. I feel like she said that in front of you before. But they taught me evolution exactly the way would know it, you know, in secular world later. They just, you know, God set it in motion. That's all. That's all. They told us the fact. I had awesome teachers, by the way. I'm still friends with one of them. I've had one of my teachers from that Christian school on the Troll Patrol. Also tried to hook up with him. Like just a couple years ago. It was a thing. It was a thing when I was at the Christian school. Like, I was mouthy at the Christian school as well. I was doing stand-up bits, and I made other students cry and stuff. Like, that happened. Is that where I learned to sing? Tadpole, once upon a time, I was actually a decent singer. My voice changed, and, like, I can't carry a tune anymore. I am a horn dog. My shirt says I love pussy. Now I was working at the TV station, and the right-wing radio host was like, "Does your shirt say I love pussy?" I was like, "No, it says I love cats. Come on. I got it from the ASPCA or whatever. I love cats. You know I love cats." He's like, "I think it says I love pussy." I was like, "Yeah, I got it from Spencer's. You're right." It does. I don't think I'm wearing it inside out. It's just old, working gal. It's old, and that's why it's small on me. But I'm down to the last of my clothes. It's almost laundry time. Okay, we gotta get to the news. I said I would stop doing the talk until 20 after. I was supposed to cut off the rambling at 10 after, and you guys let me go. Supposed to tell me to get back to the news. Clinically, keep me on track. Trump spoke earlier today on his 90-day terror pause. Now, he was asked about, because the reason they're pausing it supposedly is because countries came to the table. And he's like, over 50 countries came to the table to negotiate. Yeah, I tried to steal the cat. I fed her earlier today. Like, just a few minutes ago, I fed that kitty. It makes my cats really upset, too, when I take their food outside. Oh, I think she's trying. Okay, so that cat is owned by the lady directly across the street from me. And I think she might try to set me up with her daughter. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, I think you and I are probably close to the same age. You might be like a couple years older than me. But like you're in my dating bracket. But she's like, "Oh, my daughter would love you." Yes, Oregon gal. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to the news. So NBC News asked multiple times, like, which countries can you give us a list of the countries that came to the table? And the White House declined to comment. This was Trump earlier today speaking on the 90-day pause. Apparently meeting with racing champions. If they want to do a mother-daughter thing, I'm totally into that. That's always been a fantasy. God damn it.
You live in sexual anarchy?
Yay, new puppy.
Outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor, sort of the civilian.
I'm sorry, Oregon gal.
Congressional Medal of Honor. And I watched him win his 18th
I'm trying.
Indianapolis 500. And now I just said, "Did you win 19?" He said, "Well, actually, we won."
Warlord, are we getting the vote on the budget resolution? Hold on. Like, I knew that was coming. Are we getting it, like, right now? My dumb ass had forgot. Are we getting it right now? We'll take it live if you want to.
5 years ago, and he won 2 more.
It was delayed. I kind of figured.
And just well deserving. If you look,
No, I'm not. I'm not sorry.
the countries, they spend billions of dollars trying to win Indy, and I guess they do it sometimes, but not much. But he's done it 20 times, Phyllis. So he must know something about cars and racing and trucks too, by the way.
Thank you, producer Warlord.
But he's been a very special guy, and he's brought some of our outstanding racing champions with tremendous courage and guts and grit. Hello, fellas. I didn't see you guys over there. That's a good-looking couple of teams, too. They have a lot of courage. And we'll see you in a second. So we're joined by the 2023-2024 NASCAR champion, Ryan Blaney, and Joey Logano. That's really fantastic, fellas.
And Joey Logano, they were both the champion.
How fast do you get that car going, like as an example, on average? How fast will you
About
go
190.
About 190, you can have it. I don't want to go, but 190, that's fantastic. And on a straightaway, you'll go
He said average, didn't he? It's more like 150.
190 to 200. Well, it takes
They top out at like 190.
genetic, you know that, right? It's genes. Not only it's genes, really. It's
They're on a short track. They're doing like between 80 and 120.
the 2023 and 2024 Indianapolis 500 winner, Joseph Newgarden. Hey, Joseph.
So this is what he's doing
And the 2020
after the tariffs. Supposedly speaks on the tariffs at some point in time.
Is that car a very different car than?
Oh, God.
Let's say this one. Very different.
No.
Very different.
Yeah, one's open wheel,
many
one's a stock car.
and we all shared the car, so three drivers,
Totally different engine.
different engines,
Everything's different.
everything.
And you'll go. Is it 24 hours?
Yeah.
That's a long time. And that car just, there's no let up. It's just.
Mary Sue.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. That's endurance. Endurance is a big factor in life and success, I can tell you. So, you guys,
I'm almost
thank you
blind.
very much. Would you like to ask Roger or any of these champions?
I guess I got Roger Penske there.
Yeah.
You started the morning saying be cool, and then just
Be
a few
cool.
hours later, there was a pause put in on the tariffs. Can you walk us through your thinking about why you decided to put a 90-day pause?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting
This is a great time to buy, he said at 9:37 this morning.
afraid, unlike these champions, because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents, they wouldn't have done it. And it had to be done. What was happening to us on trade, not only with, if you look at it, not only with China, but China was by far the biggest abuser in history, and others also, but
For much less,
somebody had to
Torchy.
do it. They had to stop because it was not sustainable. Last year, China made $1 trillion off trade with the United States. That's not
What is his hair even doing today? He's got like a part down the middle.
a short period of time, but we made $2 billion. We're making now $2 billion a day. And somebody had to do it. Roger actually said it. Charles Schwab was here a little while ago, one of the great financial people, and he said he's been waiting for 40 years for somebody to do what I did over the last month. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't have a country. It wouldn't be sustainable. So I'm honored to have done it. And
I had some right winger tell me that the price of everything was coming down. And I was like, you're full of shit. The gas price hasn't come down, even though the price of crude has fallen drastically. And he's like, oh, no, the price of gas has come down. What are you talking about? And I looked it up. It's actually gone up like 2 cents over January's average. Anonymously.
look, nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how.
I mean, this is insane. We're going to talk about this here in a second.
They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well, and they don't know quite how to go about it.
Yeah, the national average right now is 309.
Process.
It was 307 in January, so just look this up.
And we have many other countries, as you know.
And Ed, the price of crude has fallen drastically. It's fallen by like what, $20 or $30 a barrel? Flash, if you can verify me on that one. I mean, it's huge. So Why haven't gas prices fallen down?
Than 75. And they all want to come, and they want to come here, or they'll go to Commerce, or they'll go to Treasury. We have our great senators here and congressmen. They'll call John, they'll do somebody, they'll go through somebody, but they're all calling, how do we do this? They all want to make a deal. Somebody had to do what we did, and I did a 90-day pause for the people that didn't retaliate, because I told them if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate.
China.
So we'll see how it all works out. I think it's going to work out amazing. I think that our country is going to be at the end of a year or shorter, but I think we're going to have something that nobody would have dreamt possible. A man like Roger Penske, I don't want to get him in trouble with China, so I won't, but he would know that someday you have to cut the bow and you have to do what you have to do.
Oh, Canada retaliated? Did they retaliate with tariffs, or did they just stop him, like liquor stores stop selling our liquor? Because I think he's talking about specifically retaliatory tariffs. And did they pause on Canada? I've been so fucking busy today. I've just known that something's been going on with the stock market. I'm finding all this out with you guys. So I knew about the jump. Did they lift the tariff on Canada? Canada raised tariffs, but did we pause tariffs for Canada today, or did we keep them on them like China? Because China was the only one I knew of that we kept the tariffs on. And China's like coming back like aggressively. They've raised theirs like 125% or something like that. Anonymously, thank you. If you guys would do me a favor, go over to my YouTube, like some shit over there. That would really fucking help me. Go like all my videos. Go to my homepage. Type my name into the search bar. Apparently, that's like the thing that helps the most. And right now with that video about Kevin 24/7, I think I can really get some traction on that. Okay, Warlord saying that the two leading options right now, the House and Senate conference on the budget, not a great move. Senate leadership hates it. Two, leadership considering going to rules to insert language in a rule that says the House won't put a reconciliation package on the floor unless the Senate agrees to $1.5 trillion in cuts. I don't think this is the House is trying to bully the Senate. Is that what we've got going on here? This is insane. The Senate won't like that.
Mr. President,
but then again, what's Thur gonna do?
Bart's Matt Boyle.
McConnell wouldn't stand for that shit.
Absolutely, the European Union and the United States could work out a trade deal that's win-win and, quote, mutually beneficial.
Yeah, tell us, put it in the Discord. Are you still in our Discord?
Prime Minister's comments, and do you think...
I think I do watch Hawk, but I don't watch a lot of financial content.
I know him, he's a good man.
I think I do have the sub.
A deal could be made with every one of them. A deal's going to be made with China. A deal's going to be made with every one of them.
Eventually, China will make you their bitch.
They will be fair deals for everybody. But they weren't fair to the United States. They were sucking us dry, and you can't do that. You know, we have $36 trillion of debt for a reason. We don't have a debt.
I wish somebody was sucking me right now.
For a reason. And people took advantage of our country, and they ripped us off for decades. I've been thinking about this for decades.
I've been the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
You're right, Oregon Gal. I'm horrible. They called me Lusty Justin in high school. They said I lusted after everybody. We'd go on these speech tournaments. We'd go on these trips, and I'd always hook up with a girl from one of the other schools. It's just what happened. The reverse Kramer index. Oh, man, we had a good time watching Kramer the other day.
If you ever saw me on television, I was young like these guys. And it was a good old days, I'll tell you, Roger. But I was like these guys, young, and I was talking about it. Nothing changed, and nothing was done about it. Then I did it in my...
Flash, I'm for that.
And did it...
Lenny!
We took in hundreds of billions of dollars.
From the YouTube.
And I started the process, but then we had to fix up from the COVID mess caused by China. We had to fix up from that, and we did a good job of doing it. And when we handed back the reins after a rigged election, and when we handed back the reins, the stock market,
The Roman reigns.
was before COVID coming in. So, we did a great job, but we didn't have time to do the big thing, which we're doing now. And it's, it's like a patient is sick. You have to do surgery. Patient is very, very sick. And
Glad to have it back over on the Twitch.
Joe
Twitch
Biden
is so much better.
handed us over a country that was in very serious trouble, economically and in every other way. They let China run away with things. They let other countries run away with things. And maybe worst of all, in a certain way, is what they did at the border. We had people pouring into our country.
Oh my God!
Millions. Many of them were murderers and drug lords and thieves and people from prisons.
Call him rapist, Mr. Rapist.
And there were people from mental institutions, insane asylums.
Yes, somebody in the chat was alerted me to this. Like, he thinks claiming asylum means people are coming from an asylum. And now it makes perfect sense the way he says that shit. Oh my God. Melissa, she got pissed at me like in 2016 or 2017 or something. I don't even remember what about now. But let me tell you why these tariffs actually happened, why he pulled back today. Right-wing group backed by Koch and Leo sues to stop Trump tariffs. New Civil Liberties Alliance says president's invocation of emergency powers to impose tariffs is unlawful. A libertarian group that's been funded by Leonard Leo and Charles Koch, both huge donors to Trump. The New Civil Liberties Alliance filed suit against Trump's imposition of import tariffs on exports from China, arguing that doing so under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which the president has invoked to justify the duties on nearly all countries, is unlawful. The group's actions echo support by 4 Republican senators last week for a Democratic amendment calling for the reversal of 25% tariffs imposed on Canada. Last Wednesday's amendment passed with the support of Mitch McConnell, the former Republican Senate Majority Leader, and his fellow GOP members Rand Paul, Susan Collins, and Lisa Murkowski argued that the tariffs on Canada would be economically harmful. I didn't mean to. I love the YouTubers. I'm trying. The reason why YouTube right now is kind of hard for me is because I went viral with a meme video that isn't politics. So none of the people that subscribe to my channel because of that meme video watch any of my political shit. And because of that, YouTube algorithm punishes me because my own subscribers don't watch my content. And that's made it hard for me to grow on YouTube. But it's a blessing and a curse because I went viral with that video. I've been monetized on there for years. I don't make a lot of money from YouTube, but I've gotten checks from YouTube. So I've probably made about $500 total. Make more memes. I need to make other content. Ponder Monkey, good evening. You just snuck in here on me. This is the largest, and I don't like playing the fucking game. And every now and then I'll watch the YouTube channels and be like, how to grow. And I did actually pick up a good tip. I'm like, all right, that's good. It's like if you go and grab your playlist and the share up button on the playlist and then put it into a browser and then click on the first video and then you share the link to that video, it'll have your playlist on there. So if I go put that in my description and be like, hey, watch more Troll Patrol clips in the description, when people click on my videos, instead of it showing other people's videos on the side, it'll show my videos. And I'm like, that's actually really good. I'm going to steal that. That's true, too. My content isn't getting pushed to their feed, but I mean, once again, I went viral over a Bubble Guppy's John Cena video. So it's not people that, are going to be likely, and it got really popular in South America. I have a shit ton of subscribers in South America from that video that don't speak English, don't know shit about American politics. Ooh, that sounds awesome anonymously. People would totally watch that. If you were just on all day fucking fixing up cars, people would totally come in and watch that. Maybe now is a good time. Maybe now is a great time, and we're all getting ready to have a new fucking beautiful, prosperous society. The Dow posted its single largest daily point increase ever.
Taking a live look here as the stock market closing for the day about an hour ago.
Line go way up.
A big response following President Trump's announcement hours ago of that 90-day pause on his reciprocal tariffs on most of the country's biggest trading partners. As you can see there, the Dow up nearly 3,000 points. The NASDAQ composite jumped about 12.2%, and the S&P 500 soaring 9.5%. The president's 10% baseline tariff on nearly all global imports will remain in place, but at the same time here, President Trump also revealed that he is raising the tariffs charged.
I don't know about paying people, but you should definitely get a stipend. You should get your Monopoly money when you pass go every month.
Fox Business Network joining us now.
Universal basic income, food stamps for everybody.
For taking the time to be here with us.
Look how happy this motherfucker is.
The Dow closed with the largest daily point increase in history. So that was a history-making day that we saw today.
For sure. And I was going to ask you about that because I know the numbers, I mean, they're soaring. We're talking up nearly 8% after we saw several days of the Dow kind of plummeting after the first announcement. What do you make of all of that overall as you see this record-breaking day?
Well, I think the market was looking for good news, and that was clear in any of the good news that came out that was trying to get into the positive territory. So the markets really wanted to hear progress on tariffs or trade negotiations with other countries, or...
Oh, yeah, it's still down.
We got today. So
it is still down, but this was its largest ever one-day increase. Still down from its record high. Shelley, good evening.
President, as you said, paused on on the reciprocal tariffs, and then he added 125% tariffs on all goods from China coming into the United States. The reason China's been singled out, according to the Treasury Secretary, is because China is the only country that did not come to the U.S. and try and negotiate. We had more than about 75 countries, according to the president in the Oval Office minutes ago, about 75 countries.
They've asked for the names of those countries, and the White House has declined to comment. So ain't nobody come to the table.
That have come to the U.S.
Israel.
To bring prices, to bring the tariffs down and work on getting rid of those non-tariff barriers, which is big for this administration. But it was China that did not. So he singled out China here and basically isolated them in the global marketplace.
And speaking about that overall, again, he revealed that he's raising the tariffs charged to China to 125%. Right. What are the potential implications here as we look
DJ Dub?
That? And could we kind of see this back and forth just keep going between the U.S. and China?
Well, that depends on China. So the president said don't retaliate. China retaliated. And again, starting tomorrow, there will be 84% tariffs on U.S. imports going into China. That's their retaliation. The president,
War Machine,
doubling it, going to 125% at his level from Chinese goods coming into here. The implication is that people will buy fewer things from China, that companies will move supply chains. We've already heard Walmart come out and say that that only 10%, a lower portion of their goods comes from China, and they're looking for other areas to try and find those. Amazon came out and said that they're going to pause some shipments from China because of those tariffs and possibly look for other supply chains. So the gain would be other countries possibly in that region or other countries that have manufacturing. The loss is Chinese manufacturers, because there is almost no way for China, the government of China, to help make up the difference with with a tariff of 125%. In the past, when President Trump added tariffs to China, before this recent announcement a week ago from Liberation Day, China was under a 20% additional tariff, and there was basically no price increases because the companies either aided up the currencies, manipulated a little bit from the China side in order to make the cost less, and the Chinese government helped out through subsidies those manufacturers. You just can't make up 125%, so China is really going to feel this impact a lot.
When we talk about the
China's going to feel this impact. What was the number? I think it was 12% of their exports into the United States. China has become one of like our largest markets for like exporting movies, the shit that we do have, soybeans, the NBA culture. That's the shit we export to China now. I think it really is market manipulation. Here is Adam Schiff earlier today.
I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs, and are people cashing in? There is just all too much opportunity for people
nice anonymously
administration to be insider trading, and you can't put it past them for a minute. So we're going to try to find out.
Was it an older Tesla?
Ignore you, though, right? Should there be some other independent investigation into this?
Well, I think Congress should do an investigation into this, but we're going to demand answers from the administration.
The SEC.
They're likely to stonewall, particularly if they've been engaged in corrupt insider trading. I'm writing to the White House to demand.
And also, and Mox will agree with me on this one, Congress might be likely to do something about this, because if the White House got to do insider trading and all the other people in the Congress didn't get to do insider trading, they gonna be upset if they didn't get their beaks wet on the floor of the House. Yeah, why is he so red? Okay, also, if you'll notice, this is the Daily Caller's video. You think they've bumped up the saturation or something? The tie is super red. You think they made him look red just to bad editing? That's my theory. Congress might actually do something if they didn't get a taste of the insider trading that the White House did. Nancy Pelosi is the queen of insider trading, though I don't even know that she's not functional, and Paul Pelosi got fucking knocked over the head to death. I don't know what the fuck they doing anymore. I'm sure they're still invested, but they're probably not like, making big money moves anymore. Mox, as Tones pointed out, wouldn't it be the opposite of it'd be a dump and pump? Like they sold out, dump, and then once it's down, they pumped it back up. He told everybody to buy in the morning. Economist says the formula for calculating tariffs happens to have an error in it.
If these tariffs go into effect at midnight tonight, the American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank, now points out their plans contain math errors, serious math errors. The formula even received criticism from supporters of the president. Republican mega donor and Home Depot founder Ken Langone calls the tariffs, quote,
dump, shower, pump, wash your ass.
In an interview with the Financial Times, quote, I don't.
What a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a dump, shower, pump, wash your ass.
Don't understand the goddamn formula. I believe he's been poorly advised by his advisors in this trade situation and the formula they're applying. With us now are the two people who pointed.
And I hate that Ken Langone dude.
Math error, Dr. Kevin Corinth and Dr. Stan Voiger. Thank you both so much for being with us. Our viewers are going to be super excited to see this formula on the screen here, and it's going to mean a ton to them.
I fucking love math.
Third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning.
Serious TV crimes by asking you to explain this. But let me just point out what this essentially is that the change in tariffs right here that the president has proposed is equal to the country's exports to the U.S. minus the imports from the United States divided by these three things, okay? And you say these two things, the White House has got it completely wrong. Their math is wrong. This is
what are they?
Policy you say, although it may be ultimately, but you say it's about bad math. Explain.
Math me.
The formula you have there, basically what it does, it divides the trade deficit, which is the numerator here, by total imports, which is the M in the denominator. And then to make their approach look a little more sophisticated, they added those two Greek letters, epsilon and phi. The epsilon they set at 4, and phi they set at 0.25. So they cancel out in the U.S. Trade Representative's report on the matter. Now, they claim that they picked that value for phi, which is the change in import prices when a tariff changes. They claim that they picked that 0.25 based on a result in a research paper, but they picked the wrong number. That number should be close to 1. Now, 1, of course, is 4 times as big as 0.25. So if you put in the right number, the change in the tariff goes down by a factor of 4. And so every tariff they calculated based on this formula is 4 times higher than it should be. So what does that mean? Yeah.
But why should the number be 1? You didn't make an argument for me for why the number should be 1. Why they picked 0.25. Fucking none of it makes any sense to me. Am I the only one? I don't think any of these fuckers know what they're talking about, but he does seem like a fucking math nerd.
Go ahead.
The highest tariff rates. Yeah, go ahead. The highest tariff rates they came up with were close to 50%. If you divide them by 4, it goes down by a lot. As you see here. And so if they had done the calculations correctly, thank you for putting them on screen, we would have ended up with a set of tariffs that barely exceeds 10% in any country, with the top rate being below 14%. So massive differences for a number of important trading partners, including Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. And so this, I don't think this much of the approach makes sense even conceptually.
Yeah, no vote
if we're gonna
tonight.
take their approach seriously. If we're going to say we're going to base our tariffs, our entire international trading system on this formula, they have to put in the right numbers and do the calculation correctly.
And again, this is it's all about this number right here, which you say is 4 times bigger than they say it is, which throws all their math by a factor by 4. Have you taken this to them? Do they acknowledge that?
Who the fuck is he?
Bum number in here?
So they have not. So a cabinet member has been asked about this. Peter
He's
Navarro,
Dr. Stan Vuger.
Yesterday morning. They have not disagreed with us on the substance. In fact, what we've seen is that senior members of the administration, Steve Myron yesterday, who's the chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors, Scott Bessent this morning, who's the Treasury Secretary, they have both said, we had nothing to do with this.
Oh, apparently he's from a huge conservative think tank.
Formula that was other people in the administration. And so, normally if you're convinced of the accuracy, the wisdom of your policies, you do not point fingers at other people in the administration and say, they came up with this, we did not.
Hey, Dr. Corinth, just to reiterate that point, they're pointing the fingers at each other here. This is not a small difference. You can see Cambodia's tariffs are 4 times bigger than they would be if the math had been correct by your calculations. And those poor Falkland Islands, right, down there, I mean, what they must be going through because of this math error. So bad math, and then Dr. Corinth, the policy itself. You note using the idea of a trade imbalance here kind of ignores other factors.
So it's the American Enterprise Institute saying
talking
this.
about corrected tariffs. These are not the correct tariffs. We're just saying if you apply their formula correctly, they should have been a fourth as high as what they're saying they should be. But we are not at all endorsing this approach. It does not make sense to say that tariffs are only based on, or on trade deficits, or the trade deficits only depend on tariffs. So there's a lot of other factors, like its comparative advantage, different geographic factors that determine the trade deficit. To say that we should only base these tariffs on the trade deficit is just bad economics.
And Dr. Corinth, while we have you here on the subject of economics, and I know you guys aren't market watchers.
I would never take the American Enterprise Institute seriously on anything else.
Now, on the idea,
but should we take it? What their
their
argument is that the White House had a formula, but they got one of the inputs wrong. Should we take them at face value on this because they're extensively on the White House's side? And they're like, no, we at least want you to get the math right. If you were to present me something from the American Enterprise Institute, I'd be like, I'll piss on those fuckers. But should we take them at their word on this?
Administration might be more.
I need a
than others. Does that make sense to you now that
I need a flasher clinically Mox chime in.
Yeah, I think it suggests that the tariffs are actually.
I don't know shit about what they're talking about though to verify it.
Very damaging. If there's small changes in the rhetoric of the administration,
you shouldn't trust me.
This much.
I love you though.
Suggest that the market reaction would be even larger if these tariffs were made permanent.
I can say, Dr. Corinth, Dr. Voiger, this formula now will be seared in the brain of all of our viewers. I appreciate you explaining it.
Is that true? Is it going to be seared in your guys' brain?
It's this morning.
Fuck you, Wolf Blitzer. Nobody wants to hear from your dumb ass. I really don't like Wolf Blitzer. That's not a playful thing like I do with Lester. I really don't like Wolf Blitzer. He can eat my whole asshole. I don't know why I hate him that bad, but it might have been a little harsh. I mean, I don't particularly like Wolf Blitzer, Dire Wolf Blitzer. I meant to do the Dire Wolf thing for the animal video the other night. I'm sorry I left that off. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? I've already missed my opportunity. It's not. I'm not particularly a fan of Wolf Blitzer at all. Have we ever watched Wolf Blitzer on this show? I take weed. I've been sober all day. That's what it is, working gal. And like weed doesn't really affect me. I just went to the weed store right before the show. I got back and was rushing to get on stream. So, like, and the weed doesn't really affect me when there's like an adrenaline when I'm on stream, right? Like, it's like when I'm on stage, it's when I'm on radio, it's when the red light is on. There's a thing. Let's watch Fox for some reason, because apparently Jessica Tarlov dunks.
It's great to be here.
Around the table.
I might have a crush on her. She can be my GOP mommy.
Opening line.
Or liberal mommy or whatever she pretends to be.
Trump even admitted that it wasn't
the weed makes me normal
or be cool. He said he was watching the bond market. And that's what decided this. He had to cave. I think CNBC's Steve Leisman, he said he didn't just flinch, he ducked.
I want to fuck Jessica Tarlov.
And our very own Charlie Gasparino has been on for the last couple of hours saying that he wished it weren't so, but that the truth is that the White House capitulated. We still have tons of tariffs on, even our closest trading partners. They still don't make any sense. There's a lack of clarity on the specific numbers for Mexico and Canada. It's great to be here.
I didn't understand why that was a dunk. Why'd I even play this? This wasn't fun. I was just thinking, like, I wouldn't do this orgy couch. Judge Janine's a maybe. Other than Jessica, the rest aren't appealing. Is she a liberal? I feel like she's just a conservative that has a lick of sense. Am I wrong on that? I don't even know. The extent of my cable news exposure comes from the shit that I play for you guys on here. Does she identify as I think liberal pundit, but like she does a decent job sometimes. And I try to stick to more local shit, like this old fart talking about tariffs causing confusion.
President Donald Trump this afternoon temporarily pausing steep.
Yeah, what's the deal with Bill Kristol? Like I don't think we've ever talked about Bill Kristol on the Troll Patrol in the 5 years I've been on. But like, if you guys follow him, I don't follow him on Twitter, but I follow people that will copy his tweets. And like, is he becoming radicalized? Do we have like a socialist Bill Kristol now? Like, what the fuck?
On imports from dozens of countries, but increasing tariffs on China. The uncertainty over tariffs leaving business owners and consumers uneasy about the future. 10 News reporter Samuel King has more.
Inside the gift niche in downtown Roanoke.
On the front of the tag down
the gift niche,
and on the sticker of their boxes, and
American Horror Story Roanoke.
So that's when we love to bring.
Next to these chimes are ones produced overseas.
As time has gone by, more and more people have just outsourced, and try to hold their prices down.
So Victoria Taylor, the store's co-owner, says
she's adorable
could have an effect on business. While President Trump has paused the more punitive reciprocal tariffs on most countries for now, there's still an across-the-board 10% tariff in place. And Chinese imports have been slapped with 125% tariffs.
I had future orders already pre-booked, and I felt like that perhaps that was giving me a little level of insurance there, that those prices could remain firm.
Other sectors are impacted too by the uncertainty. 2 tire stores I spoke with say major suppliers are holding off on higher prices for now. And in a YouTube message, the CEO of Carter Myers Automotive, which owns dealerships across the Commonwealth, including in Lynchburg and Stanton, sought to reassure customers.
Our existing new car inventories, over 2,000 vehicles that are on our lots today, are unaffected by the tariffs.
But she says that could
pretty eyes.
Higher tariffs already on the minds of consumers like Susan Moore. Is this
stunningly blue
you're thinking about in terms of like shopping?
It's something that we talk about almost daily, really, especially with it on the news so much, and how it's going to affect us in the future. Right now, we're really not seeing it so much.
Like Victoria Taylor, she hopes the picture becomes clearer soon. In Roanoke, Samuel King, 10 News, working for you.
McAfee knob? Danny boy, what's going on, my friend? How'd I see her eyes from back here? Now I'm confused. Look at them baby blues. Just piercing. She got piercing eyes. Let's do a little bit of Congress. Oh no, did it go over my head? That happens sometimes because I'm thinking about like 3 or 4 different things. And I'm also just kind of dumb. Speaking of dumb people, Marjorie Taylor Greene testified at the House Oversight Committee. Whatever. She raised a ruckus.
Chair now recognizes Ms. Stansberry from New Mexico.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to ask a quick question.
This is Battle of Possum's mom.
Committee, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. We're in the Oversight Committee. So I have to say, I found this to be a very bizarre committee hearing because here we are in oversight, and our job is to conduct oversight over
My eyes
the
are up
administration
here.
because of the separation of powers between Congress and the executive branch. And right now, the administration is dismantling the Food and Drug Administration. And we are sitting here, and members on both sides of the aisle are asking questions of industry-funded groups about how the FDA is going to protect public health from medicines and food, while the secretary is firing thousands of FDA employees. In fact, just this last week, they announced they were firing 3,500 members of FDA, and RFK Jr. announced that he was going to fire
She does look like your mom. You said it.
employees across the entire agency. So my question is, if this is the oversight committee, why are we not conducting oversight over the administration and their mass firings and the
Don't make me go grab a picture.
action of the exact agency that's supposed to protect the public health? That is what we should be doing right now in this hearing room. So I find it very bizarre that many of my friends across the aisle are asking how these folks are going to protect the public health, because they're not, because they're dismantling and taking out the top experts who do this work. Now, some of my colleagues
she's awesome.
already pointed out that one of the top vaccinologists, not your
mom, Representative Stansbury.
Dr. Peter Marks, was forced
your mom's
to
cool.
resign. And in a few moments, I'm going to enter his resignation letter into the record because it's instructive. In his resignation, he says that for the last 13 years, he's tried to ensure the efficiency and effectiveness of the science and the public health. And he says at the end of his letter, however, it has become clear that truth and transparency are not desired by the secretary, but rather he wishes subservient confirmation of his misinformation and lies. I've been trying to figure out.
I think she did drop an F-bomb once.
What
I don't think it was in Congress.
end goal is inside of HHS, what exactly the end goal is inside of FDA, what exactly the GOP's theory of MAHA, of Make America Healthy Again, is. Because today you want to take a vote on dismantling Medicaid. Your
FBI, if you're watching, that was just a joke, I swear.
officials, including the people who make our drugs, our medications, our food, our cosmetic safety. Your president has announced yesterday that he wants to put tariffs on pharmaceuticals, and you're going after Social Security and Medicaid by dismantling the offices and the services and programs through DOGE that actually serve the people of this country. So I don't understand it. I don't understand how this serves the public interest. Dr. Kessler, I am very grateful that you are here today. You are a legend. You are so
legend
across the public health space. And I know you're not currently serving in this administration, but help us understand the scope and the scale.
I don't know when Marge takes over in this.
People need to be paying
She's
attention
fired
to
up.
what's happening inside the agency right now.
20 cents of every consumer dollar is spent on a product that FDA oversees. All our foods, essentially, right, except meat and poultry, USDA does that. All our drugs, all cosmetics.
Is this Sam Cedar's dad?
Blood supply, our medical devices, our radiological, many of our radiological devices. The agency is absolutely essential for the safety of the American family, right? It's also absolutely key for our...
Or just another dude probably from Boston.
Yes, right? I mean, I am concerned, right, that China's going to beat us scientifically, you know, if we're not careful with all these cuts that are going on. But the reason I'm concerned about that, it's not about China. It's about the health of us.
And Dr. Kessler, I want to end with this note. As Vera Rosenthal was leaving the department after being fired by the secretary, she said, people are going to die from these cuts. I am not being an alarmist. The day after they announced these mass firings and cuts, pharmaceutical prices tanked on the market, and that was before.
Are you just saying that because Pac-Man steals everything from
the ability
Sam?
to get life-saving drugs to market, the ability to save American lives, the ability to get
gentlelady's time is expired.
To our people.
Gentlelady's time is
depends
expired.
On having a functioning.
Gentlelady's time is expired. I now recognize Mr. Higgins from Louisiana.
If they do not have
The gentlelady's time is expired.
I am
The
sorry,
gentlelady's
Madam
time is
Chairwoman,
expired.
But the
She's the chair?
Gentlelady's time
Of the
has
Oversight Committee?
Stansberry. Miss Stansberry, the gentlelady's time is expired. No, you're lying to the American people.
I'm sorry, madam.
You are lying to the American people.
The American people need to understand their health is at risk, and this is a
Mr. Higgins is now
five-alarm
recognized.
emergency.
Mr. Higgins from Louisiana is now recognized.
Fucking Clay Higgins. Is she the chairman of the Oversight Committee? It doesn't say in the description that she's the chairman. Was she just acting chairman for the day or some shit? They did not make her chairman of the Oversight Committee. This is the Homeland Security Committee, where she apparently also has a seat.
5 minutes for a few comments and questions, and I actually am going to yield to Ms. Green but I want to ask a couple of questions. As I understand it from looking at your bill, this just publishes the...
Oh, it's Comer. Yeah, I knew it was Comer. Carla, welcome in.
My time. Does it report any protocol?
Yeah, she was just acting.
How these gentlemen are women that
means she's like second in command.
Question? Any? No.
No.
Is it any protocols on how they're identified and detained?
No.
Okay. So it just publishes the pure numbers. Is that correct? Just making sure.
Just tells the American people how many SIAs have come into the country.
Does it report their names?
No.
Okay. All right. I yield. Is there anybody else who wants to make a comment about this? Mr. Goldman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think there's actually a lot of ground for common bipartisan effort here. I can assure all of my colleagues that the immigration issue is top of mind, that
Why?
Democrats are very concerned
because Trump is deporting people.
Whether there are convicted criminals who remain in this country, and because of our immigration laws, including the fact that a country has to be willing to take someone who is removed in order for that person to be removed. There certainly are lots of things that we can address here. Our national security is at a very perilous point. The fact that we are seeing such egregious breaches of security clearance, classified information that warrant members of governments of other countries to start to say they're going to reevaluate their intelligence sharing with us should give everyone in this room serious pause about how we are tackling national security. Now, publishing the number of SIAs, it may be...
What's SIA?
For
chat, you got that one for me, Flash?
To talk about it, certainly the transparency is something that we support, but it does nothing to ultimately secure our homeland. And I wish we were spending a lot
all our committee ships
efforts to shore up our classified information, to shore up our relationships with our allies who provide us with intelligence information so that we can stop a terrorist attack.
Security, whoa. Security Industry Authority? No, I think you got the wrong thing, Flash. I don't know that that's what he's referring to.
Not a
That's
terrorist
some British
attack
agency.
based on alleged accusations of terrorism by members of this committee or members of the White House. You see, you aren't actually a terrorist just because a member of Congress from Georgia says you are. There actually has to be evidence provided to support that. That's how our country works. That's how due process works. That's how the rule of law works. Is the president doesn't get
special interest alien. Thank you, Ducky. Thank you. That makes way more sense.
Not a terrorist.
I was getting results for Sia and shit. I wanted to swing from the chandelier.
Members of Congress don't get to determine whether someone is or is not a terrorist. But that does not seem to be something that some of my colleagues understand. There's a reason why
She's chairman of the Doge Committee. That makes a lot more sense.
Think that due process is not warranted for someone who is not a citizen of this country, or you may think that due process is not warranted for someone
light one up, tip one back,
accused of being a member of a Venezuelan gang or terrorist organization. But once you start going down that slippery slope, then our basic foundations of due process come undone entirely. And I don't understand what the problem is with allowing a neutral arbiter based on evidence to determine whether someone is a terrorist or not. What is
that's weird? I feel I have to raise my protest fist.
Has to presenting evidence to a judge to say, this is the evidence that this person is a member of a particular cartel. What we've seen in one particular case that is top of mind right now is that there's a confidential informant.
Flash, I don't remember ever playing a clip from the Doge Committee, but I could be wrong on that. If they have had a committee hearing meeting, it's been like one.
Who has said that someone was a member of a foreign gang, a foreign terrorist organization now designated, and that he wore a particular type of baseball hat. There's no corroboration.
Okay, he's talking about the man that was deported. Was it Maryland where he was at, or was it Massachusetts? I always get like the two states that are up northeast confused. It was one of those two states he was in. He's got a wife that's a citizen. He was here legally. He was arrested because some confidential informant at a sheriff's office gave some faulty information, and he's been fighting this charge. Like, they said he was a gang member, and he's been fighting this charge for years, and like the court had ruled that ICE couldn't deport him because he was under serious threat of danger because he wasn't a gang member, to send him back to, was it Venezuela? Was he from Venezuela and they sent him to El Salvador, or he was actually from El Salvador? I get it a little mixed up.
Else to corroborate or to confirm what that confidential informant says, at least that has been presented. And I know there are some lawyers on the other side, some
this is that Abrigo
on the other side of the aisle, who, like me, would never, ever present to a judge a non-corroborated statement from a confidential informant as the basis for establishing anything. And so we're a little off topic, but I did feel I need to address my colleague from Georgia.
He was in Maryland.
About all of the alleged terrorists who are there are those who are supporting them to stay, and nobody is supporting.
And that's another sad thing here, is we're getting to the point where there's so many stories it's hard to keep up with them all and keep up with all the names. But that was the instance that he is referring to right now.
Any member of a foreign gang to stay in here. We would just like to make sure that people are adjudicated and determined to be a member of a foreign gang by someone other than the President of the United States or a member of Congress. And I yield back.
The gentleman yields. I now recognize Mr. Guest for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, at this time, I would like to yield as much of my time as she may consume to Ms. Green.
Thank you.
That she can gobble.
I think my colleague across the aisle is very confused and maybe uneducated and uninformed of what a special interest alien is. SIA is a non-U.S. person who is based on an analysis of travel patterns potentially poses a national security risk to the United States or its interest. Special interest aliens are people from countries identified by the United States government as having conditions that promote or protect terrorism or potentially pose some sort of national security threat to the United States. It's hard for me to fathom that anyone on this committee would be opposed to simply reporting the number of special interest aliens that Homeland, that our great men and women that served as Border Patrol agents, that any of our police, any of our ICE agents happen to detain, and it's just the number. We're just telling the American people how many. That's it.
Would the gentlelady yield for a
No,
question?
I will not yield. The Department of Homeland Security officials have publicly posted information about special interest aliens in the past, including
I have no idea what she's trying to say.
Chief and his predecessor. Custom and Border Protection already published similar numbers on its public site. For example,
I'm the leader of
screening data set, and
MS-13 Alabama.
and this is always an interesting dynamic to me.
Huntsville.
On our side of the aisle, we trust the American people, and we believe they deserve transparency. They deserved the truth from the federal government, because it is, after all, that we swore an oath to serve the American people. And the American people are the taxpayers that pay all of our paychecks. They pay for this building. They fund this.
Oh, it's such
even though
grandstanding.
The government has plunged them into $36 trillion in debt and opened up the borders for the past 4 years and allowed it to
raise fucking taxes.
Aliens. And then the Biden administration gave them Social Security numbers. You see, this that we are trying to...
It wasn't even the Biden administration. It was a Trump program. It started under Trump.
Enjoy and really would thank you for caring about transparency and providing information to the American people that so deserve it, instead of arguing.
Flash, I shouldn't tell you guys this. I really shouldn't tell you guys this. I follow an OnlyFans star that I think looks a lot like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And it's like that GOP mommy thing again. Cancel Justin, indeed.
Back and forth, and watching you all defend special interest aliens, defend terrorists who have come in our country, and defend dangerous cartels who have been deported out of our country. I know too many people that have been murdered by cartels. I know too many people, and I know their families, and have watched them mourn.
The cartels murdered her brother.
That was killed by illegal alien crimes or murdered by an illegal alien or a cartel member. This should be a simple conversation. We are all Americans, and we serve this country.
Her neighbors were all murdered by the cartel.
And that should be a simple fact that we can all recognize, not have political disagreements about. Congress, by the way, has previously...
I can't take it anymore, especially like with their mic like that. I can't, like it's only like a minute. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. That was way too much Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right, we're done with politics tonight. Let's get into... It's not the crime. We got some tragedy first, and then we got crime. All right, welcome in. I don't know if I told you good evening. War Machine. Justin likes mic clipping? No. I couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't on my end. Just because she was deep-throating it. This is the default for Marjorie Taylor Greene, I guess. This is drone video that shows the roof collapse of a Dominican Republic nightclub. I do, working cow. It's just I feel kind of weird, like, you know, The Republican mommy thing might be real. Or I've willed it into existence somehow. I think it might be another joke I've taken too far, like Nelly Furtado. This is the Dominican Republic. I thought there was going to be reporting from the AP here, but apparently just drone video. The roof of an iconic nightclub in the Dominican capital collapsed early Tuesday during a merengue? Merengue? What in the fuck is that word? Give me the pronunciation. White boy needs it.
Merengue.
Merengue. I got close to it there, didn't I? Haha. Just sounding it out. During a merengue concert attended by politicians, athletes, and others, leaving at least 98 people dead and 160 injured. 98 people died. Holy shit. Apparently one of them was a MLB player. This was the Dominican Republic. Byronic, good evening. Yeah, we might all need to get a little more high after that. That's kind of sad. I got a woman from Arkansas talking about the damage that occurred after the storms that happened this past week.
At images of a 100-foot tree that crashed through the bedroom of a Little Rock resident's home during severe storms. That was back on.
God damn!
Tammy Mixon lives in that home, and miraculously, she's okay. She escaped the danger, barely. She ran into her living room to close her door. That was moments before that tree came crashing down onto her bed. That's where she was sitting just moments before. The home clearly has considerable damage.
Whoa!
Most importantly, Tammy is safe, and she joins us now to share her incredible story. Tammy, we're so glad to have you with us today here on Fox Weather. You've described yourself as both blessed and overwhelmed, and rightfully so.
Yes.
Can you walk us through how this all played out? It must have been terrifying.
Thank you for having me, first of all. And yes, it was. It was very scary. You know, this weather event had been going on for 4 days, and so we had been watching TV. We had been very vigilant and just, you know, standing by and waiting for what was going to happen. We didn't know what was going to happen, but anyway, on that particular day, we thought there weren't going to be any tornadoes.
There's a lot of Southern women named Tammy.
It was just going to be rain. But with so much rain that we had,
very common name in the South, I can assure you.
70 to 80 mile per hour straight line wind.
That's not a house. That's a mobile home.
The trees fell very easily. And so it was just very scary. I wasn't expecting, you know, to have that happen that day, which I'm sure no one would.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful, you know, to be alive and that we're okay.
Yeah, Little Rock, you mentioned the rain. It was historic amounts of rain during this dangerous stretch. How damaging was that after the tree came down on your home? Were you able to salvage much as all that water got in?
No, we weren't right at the time, because for the remainder of the day, in the next 24 hours, we were still having severe thunderstorms and torrential rain that were coming in. And so we weren't able to get out there and put a tarp over the top because of the lightning. And so that room was filled with water and debris. And so it's going to be a major cleanup process.
What was it like? You had mentioned it was 4 days in a row, 4 days plus, going through this run of severe weather. I had read that you had a go bag ready, and you had described it like you were about to have a baby. We have one of those at my house. We're getting ready to go very, very soon. Had you at all?
Well, congratulations on your kid.
Stretch, I know it's hard.
Thank you for telling me you come and your wife.
Threat day after day after day.
On that day, I was.
But who am I to?
And actually, the night before, we had a.
Who am I to talk about pausing the topic to tell personal stories about really intimate details of their sex life? Thank you for telling me you came and your wife at least twice, my lord.
Tornado warning, and so I went to my safe spot in the closet, and I thought I better take my tornado bag with me and hold on to it. And so after the tornado,
Yeah, your ex-wife. My apologies. My apologies.
And the next day, I wasn't expecting anything to happen, and so
that definitely
the
happened.
bag is still in the closet because I can't get to it. But anyway, it was just really scary. Simultaneously, we have friends in Selmer, Tennessee, family there in Glenn, Mississippi, and they were all getting hit. And so we were really traumatized by all of this.
Yeah,
it was we were concerned for everyone. It was almost like an apocalypse, is what it felt like.
Yeah, across the region. I mean, that's a good way to put it. Everybody was dealing with.
Did you self-censor the pie? Because, if cream pie is not a permitted term in my fucking chat, can somebody that is not a mod type cream pie? Please, cream pie should absolutely be a permitted term in the JustinFREAKIN chat. I want it. I want it to be. Okay, good. Excellent. Fembox, good evening.
With this, and so many folks had high-impact storms move through, a devastating storm.
I was just making sure.
You're at a hotel now. Do you have any idea what's next? Will you be able to get back into your home? Any idea how long you're going to be displaced?
We're going to be here for 7 days that we know of. We're not.
Oh, Flash, I have that somewhere.
Recover and repair everything, and hopefully that we'll be able to do that. That's what our plans are.
I hope that process can go very quickly. Tammy, before we let you go, can I ask about your neighborhood overall? I mean, you talked about the region, some of the impacts in your circle that folks have been dealing with. Have your neighbors heard this story? Did they have damage? How are they coping with all this? Because overall, I mean, this had to have been a scary situation for everybody.
Yes, our town really is in bad shape. There was a 5-year-old boy who was killed a couple of miles from us when a tree fell through his bedroom and landed on him. A lot of people were affected. We were thinking maybe of getting a camper for for a while to stay in while we repair the home. And we had found one on Marketplace last night near us. And when we contacted the lady, she said, I need to remove that. That was destroyed in the storm Saturday, as well as her home. And when she sent me pictures, I was just shocked and saddened,
Yeah. Yeah, it's devastating what's happened there in your community. But as you had mentioned, by the grace of God, this story could have gone a lot differently, and we're so sad to hear about the damage and the loss.
No judgments, Danny.
In your community, but so glad that you're here with us and you're safe to tell the story. This was just a terrible set of days for the whole region. Tammy Mixon, thanks for telling us your story here on Fox Weather.
Thank you.
This is the makeshift shelter that Flash was referencing. Kentuckians show country boys can survive with minivan shelter. Is there a TikTok? How do I click out to the... Oh, there. Fucking TikTok. Fucking TikTok. Oh, some fucking shitty ass country song. I mean, wouldn't the tornado just go over top of it? Traditionally, like, Appalachia didn't really get tornadoes all that much, right? The mountains protected us from having the tornadoes come like barreling through towards us. I say as I grew up in eastern Kentucky. Last night, one of our big stories on stream was a shooting that took place in Spotsylvania, Pennsylvania. No, Spotsylvania, Virginia. Spotsylvania, Pennsylvania would be better. Hey, Globus, what's going on, my friend? Hey, you can check me, Globus, and Dave out. Was it exactly like I told you? He's like, oh yeah, I just forgot. What day did you say? Hold on. Friday the 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing a panel with Globus, producer Dave. I don't know shit about AI, but it's going to be fun. I can talk about, like, the different ways, like, because, like, I use Adobe every fucking day, right? The Adobe suite. They've been incorporating AI tools, and there are some I've made use of. Like, there are some that are real fucking time savers. And there's something I did the other day that took me fucking hours, and I thought back on it, I was like, you know what? I probably could have used some AI to do that. Or whatever the generative tool. I don't even know if it's AI, Globus. Is that actually AI? I don't fucking know. It was like a generative properties blah blah blah. AI. And like, but in terms of you, like, I've seen people say that they made really good pictures in Photoshop. I can't make it do anything I want it to do. I've tried using it for thumbnails and shit, and I can't fucking, like, I type in shit and it gives me bullshit. And I'm like, I can do better. It's a waste of time. Oh, you want me to save it? You want me to save it? Fleabag, what's going on, my friend? We were following a mass shooting yesterday that happened in Spotsylvania County, Virginia, outside of Fredericksburg. 4 teens have been arrested tonight. Oh, hold on. I don't have audio for you.
About a mass shooting in Spotsylvania County that killed 3 people and injured 3 others last night. The sheriff's office identified the 3 killed as 18-year-olds. Chase Feaster, Alonzo Goffney of Spotsylvania County, and a 20-year-old who has not been identified yet. And this new video shows neighbors nearby the shooting, the location that was given to us. Investigators say the shooting happened during an illegal gun sale and robbery. Our Matthew Torres is in Fredericksburg. Matthew, what do we know about the gunmen so far? They were so young.
Yeah, so we know the sheriff's office was able to find and charge 4 people from this shooting. 3 of them are being held in jail without bond. The 4th is still in the hospital being treated for gunshot wounds. We are told that they are being charged for malicious wounding and firearms charges. Now, neighbors here say that they know those people involved don't even live in this community. And I want to show you here at this one home here. We heard gunshots erupted in this parking lot. You can see 1, 2, 3, and 4 bullet holes here. So nearly 24 hours later, clearly the damage is still left behind, but a lot of people are still nervous. They are still scared, and some of them.
They were just doing a gun deal in the parking lot of like some townhome. That does kind of seem like the perfect location, doesn't it?
Don't even want to show their face on camera out of fear of retaliation.
How am I feeling? Overwhelmed.
There's an overbearing feeling in this community you can't sweep away. For neighbor Kimberly
It's big enough that there'd be people coming and going that you wouldn't know. You wouldn't pay attention.
It's a feeling that's consumed her every waking hour.
I wasn't able to sleep last night because I just moved to this community.
Past the bicycles along Old Greenwich Circle, signs of a chaotic night.
I saw that there was blood in front of my home. There are over 4 or 5 bullet holes in my kitchen window.
Investigators say there was an illegal gun sale and robbery late Tuesday afternoon. That's when gunshots erupted throughout this community, hitting several homes.
It just sounded like everybody just freely just shooting. Like it was definitely more than one gun at the same time. Cause it's just bullet after bullet after bullet for like a minute straight.
6 people.
God damn!
Them died. A 20-year-old and 2 18-year-old men from Spotsylvania County. The others were critically hurt. 4 teens, including 18-year-old Jeremiah Upson, were arrested.
Came outside after everything was done. People was dead. A car was shot up. Somebody over there lay dead with a gun next to him. It was just, I don't know, it was just chaos.
Neighbors shared videos of who they say were 2 of the gunmen walking around with assault-style guns and faces covered. Another video shows 2 guns against this fence.
Usually the kids play out here, and like I said, by the grace of God, they wasn't yesterday.
But as residents start to cover up the damage, they say it's not enough to cover up the feeling of anxiety.
A lot of innocent people that live here that go to work and want to come home to a peaceful environment. No one should be subjected to stuff like this. It's very traumatic.
Now at this hour, you can see that we have investigators from the sheriff's office back in this community. They've been talking to different neighbors and hopefully trying to collect any more home surveillance videos that can really help them with the investigation.
Well, Flash, we had 4 people dead, and now we have 4 people arrested. 1 is in the hospital. Or was it 3 people dead and 4 people injured or some shit like
Neighbors
that?
are also telling me that another resident
Did I get the number wrong?
Walked out with a gun and stopped one of the suspects by shooting him. The sheriff's office tells me that they did detain several people and eventually released them after questioning, but did not confirm what neighbors told me. So again, at this hour, this investigation is still ongoing. Simone?
Matthew, hard to imagine the trauma this neighborhood.
Apparently a neighbor came out and opened
they've
fire.
been through over the last 24 hours. Thank you for putting it in perspective for us. We'll see you soon.
Just another day in school shooting USA. There is a shooting in Texas. Lockdown. I might need to backtrack on the shooting idea based on the headline here. This might not have been a shooting. Person found dead in a vehicle. 2 suspects wanted. I'm gonna go to a different browser. Oh, fuck. Maybe we don't have video anyway. God damn it. Authorities say 2 suspects were wanted in a deadly shooting near Texas Southern University Wednesday afternoon. The Houston Police Department confirmed a man was found fatally shot. Okay, so it was a shooting. Inside a car at around 2:30 p.m. near Ennis and Rosewood. In a TSU alert sent before 3 p.m., students were told to shelter in place. Police searched the area for suspects who were seen running off near the campus. So we got multiple suspects here. That order has since been lifted. Houston ISD put 3 of its schools on lockdown. Lockhart Elementary, Yates High School, and Blackshear Elementary for about 30 minutes. Oh, it was secure mode. Authorities said that based on preliminary information, it appears the suspects were in the car with the victim at the time of the shooting. The first suspect is described as a thin man with short dreadlocks wearing a white t-shirt. Photo circulating along law enforcement shows 2 suspects described above. There's the suspects. Police say they may know where one of the suspects is. It's unclear if they are university students. Officials said they don't believe the victim, described as a younger man, was a TSU student. So that was in the last few hours. Happened at 2:30 Central Time. That's all the information we have on that one. Unfortunately, my gal's not going to get a reprieve from the Supreme Court. I was hoping that one Karen Reed, accused of killing her cop boyfriend, would get off from the Supreme Court, but apparently they declined to take the case.
Jury selection in the Karen Reed trial is set to resume on Monday. After her first trial ended with a hung jury, Reed is arguing she is innocent and the victim of a police cover-up. 10 jurors have now been seated in this Reed trial. This case has captured millions across the country following the premiere of a new docuseries that gives a behind-the-scenes look at the high-profile murder.
Okay, I didn't know there was a docuseries.
Florida State Attorney Dave Arenberg for more on this. Dave, good to see you.
They're not talking about the Supreme Court ruling. The U.S. Supreme Court has denied Karen Reed's emergency request to delay her state murder trial until it reviews her appeal. No explanation was given for the denial. Reed had filed an emergency petition on Monday asking the court for a stay of her retrial, which has begun jury selection pending review by the High Court on her claims of unconstitutional violation. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson denied the request on behalf of the court. I think she's innocent. She says other cops killed her cop boyfriend. Sounds plausible to me, doesn't it, you guys? Makes perfect sense. She dropped him off at a party. It's like the middle of the night. They've both been drinking. She's accused of running him over with the vehicle. But she says he went back into the party and then the other cops dealt with him. I think that sounds right. Reed is accused of killing her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, in January of 2022. Prosecutors allege Reed hit O'Keefe with her vehicle and left him behind to die as Boston was hit with a major blizzard. Reed denied the allegations and maintained her innocence. The judge declared a mistrial in Reed's first trial last year after the jury could not reach a unanimous verdict. I don't care if she did kill him. Did the world a favor. Sounded like a real piece of shit. But I didn't know him. Didn't know anything about him. All right, do you want your daily dose? Your update on one Miss Lori Vallow Daybell. We've got body camera now that's been presented as evidence.
It's haunting video of Doomsday Mom Lori Vallow Daybell and the daughter she would later be convicted of killing. The footage was just played at Daybell's trial in Phoenix. It was taken as police responded to reports of a shooting at her home in 2019. Her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, had just been shot to death by Lori Daybell's own brother, Alex.
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors took the last.
Gotcha.
Like, hi neighbor, sorry.
Yep, even as her husband lay dead, Lori was cracking jokes. The 51-year-old woman is on trial for
see why I love her
with her brother to murder her husband for the $1 million life insurance policy.
Oh, it was two.
The shooting was self-defense. She is representing herself.
A family tragedy is.
Oh, did he have $1 million on him and $2 million on her? Because that's weird. Because they were talking about the $2 million policy, but maybe that was the one on her.
Not a crime.
Because she's acting as her own lawyer at the trial, Lori Daybell conducted the cross-examination of the first responders called to the shooting at her house.
You did your assessment, and then what?
My assessment revealed that he was unresponsive, no pulse, no breathing, so I would have started CPR.
KPHO TV true crime correspondent Brianna Whitney is covering the trial and also interviewed Daybell in prison. How is she doing as her own attorney?
I think she knows a little bit more than people probably thought she did, but at the end of the day, it almost seems more so that she's deriving her knowledge as an attorney from maybe TV shows or movies, things that she thinks that she should be asking.
Daybell's decision to act as her own attorney comes as no surprise to those who know her. She loves the spotlight. She was once a contestant in the Mrs. Texas pageant.
Being a good mom is very important to me.
And in 2004, she was a guest on Wheel of Fortune.
I have a wonderful husband.
She and her current husband, Chad Daybell, have been convicted in the slayings of her son, JJ, and daughter, Tylee.
I don't mean to laugh. But this is totally the kind of story I'm into. Let's watch her. I think this is from today. Yeah, she's gonna cross-examine a woman who dated her husband because they turned into zombies or some shit.
He was not in the process of a divorce. Did it surprise you to find that out? You've seen it all on TV where we're not getting divorced.
Okay.
So on the website that you met him, did he say he was divorced?
I'm not certain.
Would you have gone on a date with him if he would have said he was married?
If I would have realized how married he still was, maybe not. But I just met for dinner. I wasn't sleeping with him or anything.
Do you go on dates with married men?
I'm going to
Naturally?
argumentative. I'm going to also object under 611 for harassment.
All right.
It's because she was in that doomsday cult.
Your Honor, do I not have a right to cross-examine this witness for what she has already testified
Ran off to Idaho.
You can cross-examine her about what she's testified to.
The fact that they were
So you did-
almost adults is wild because they were 16, 15, something like that.
But you did not know he was married?
I knew his divorce was not final.
His divorce was not started.
Okay.
Okay. So in your text messages, you asked Charles if he was a good kisser. Is that correct?
Maybe, sure.
Did he answer that text message?
I'm sure he did.
Again, 611 harassment.
I'll sustain the objection for relevance and hearsay.
So are you trying to tell me and this jury that you went on one date with my husband and he told you all the details of our lives?
I'm telling you the truth, and that's what I know.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me?
Don't fool yourself. No, we did not spend the whole time talking about you.
You knew a lot about me.
You're an interesting subject.
I knew what I've testified to.
What else did you talk about on your date?
Lots of things.
Like what, for instance?
Life, kids, the church, lots of things.
Okay.
How is this even being allowed?
Anything about our other 4 children?
Yes.
So you knew that we did have 5 children as well?
I did.
Okay. Did you talk to you
It's
about my
completely irrelevant.
He did.
Did he talk about his relationship with her?
I don't recall that.
Did he talk about the contention in his relationship with my daughter, Tylee?
I don't recall that.
I'm sure you don't.
And I'm going to object to comments by the defendant made after questions testifying.
We'll sustain the objection.
On your date, you talked about my husband was a life insurance salesman. Is that correct?
I knew he did something with money and insurance, but I really didn't know the details of what he did for work. Like I said, I don't ask the details about what someone does for work when I'm trying to get to know someone.
But you knew that he sold life insurance. You stated that.
I believe that I had a vague understanding that he did something with insurance.
And then he brought that up again at dinner.
No, we didn't talk about his work at dinner.
I thought you said you did talk about, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said you did talk about that he changed the life insurance policy at dinner.
Well, you were asking me if we talked about that he sold insurance, which that didn't happen.
I can't believe this. This is irrelevant.
Of his life insurance policy at dinner.
Did he tell you how much his life insurance policy was for?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
$1 million.
Life insurance policy.
My life insurance policy was for?
I do not recall.
You don't recall?
We didn't talk about you very much in that vein.
When did...
If you want to know the facts about the kid case, Bound, welcome in.
After less than 7 hours of deliberations, jurors found Lori Daybell, the so-called doomsday mom, guilty of murdering her 2 children. Les Trent with this exclusive reaction from a family member who says it's poetic justice that Daybell learned her fate right before Mother's Day.
The verdict is in the Lori Daybell murder trial.
Guilty.
The so-called doomsday mom was found guilty of killing her children, 7-year-old JJ and 16-year-old Tylee.
She apparently sold insurance.
Jury came in, and then when that verdict was read, guilty on all counts, there was eruptions of cheers out here in front of the courthouse steps.
49-year-old Daybell was also found guilty of conspiracy to murder her husband's ex-wife.
Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all.
JJ's grandparents spoke to reporters after the verdict and praised the jury.
JJ, I love you. Papa, wish you were here.
Larry Woodcock sang one of JJ's favorite songs, The Party's Over, appropriate for the day justice.
Are you not going to break down like how we got there?
Say that all.
Come on, Inside Edition.
Must end. Lori, it ended.
Today's verdict comes after the defense rested without calling a single witness. One highlight came when a tape-recorded phone call between Daybell and her sister Summer was played. I spoke to Tylee's aunt, Annie Cushing.
It's Mother's Day weekend. Is this some sort of poetic justice?
Yeah, I was hoping that she would have to process a guilty verdict on Mother's Day. I do think it's poetic justice.
The verdict brings to a close the long-running Lori Daybell saga. JJ and Tylee disappeared in September 2019. Daybell and her husband of 3 months, Chad Daybell, were sunning themselves in Hawaii 5 months later when police served her with papers ordering her to produce the children to authorities. 6 months later, the children's bodies were found buried on Chad Daybell's property in Idaho. In closing arguments, Lori Daybell's legal team blamed her husband for the deaths.
Of the 15,000 texts that you have in evidence, show me one where Lori's part of that conspiracy.
Prosecutors say Lori Daybell believed her kids were controlled by evil spirits.
Lori Daybell faces life in prison when
I shouldn't laugh.
Daybell has pled not guilty. His trial will likely be in June of next year.
That's insane. Anyway, back to her questioning her husband victim's Tinder date at one point in time.
Did you talk to him about me very much then? If it wasn't at dinner, was it?
Why?
We were talking about what he was going through in the process of separating from you.
So this is the murder trial
life insurance policy was worth
of the husband.
And we talked about
in Arizona.
And when I say you, meaning what he was doing as he was going through this separation.
So let me understand. You were dating some different men on this website, right? From the websites?
Sure.
Would you say it was common?
I'd swipe right.
men to be talking so much about their supposed ex-wives?
Yes, those poor kids, like, they were older.
It's actually very common.
They were teenagers.
Really?
Really?
Interesting.
And again, Your Honor, I'm going to object to the defendant making comments after her questions.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I won't do that again.
All right, please stop.
I'll just ask the questions.
Thank you.
Oh, was one 7? No, I thought they were both in their teens.
So there were some text messages between you and my husband after the dinner on July 10th. Is that correct?
Correct.
What time would those text messages have occurred?
After dinner.
What time?
10:45-ish.
10:45 to what?
I'm not certain, ma'am. After dinner.
Killed her kids and her husband.
Maybe.
I just told you I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, 7 and
What did you
16.
discuss in those text messages?
And I'm going to object to relevance again. If there's a specific area.
Sustained.
You testified a minute ago that Charles told you a lot of things.
Well, Torchy, she's already been convicted. She's already on a life sentence.
But you said wife.
She's got nothing to lose.
Okay, sure.
What were a lot of things?
The things that I've testified to.
Can you be more specific?
It already is like a documentary on something.
Let's go on sidebar.
But I mean, this is like a whole other level to it now that she's defending herself in court, and I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm sorry. It's exploitative on my part. Like, this has no news value, really. You know, it's worth a mention in passing because it's a wild story. Like, I don't have to sit here and watch whole chunks of the trial over and over. I will, though. Yeah, she's just goofing off. Here's my favorite news anchor in the country, one Mark Brown for ABC News 7. This is a freeway hit and run leads to a bizarre arrest.
A wild scene today in Eagle Rock. A hit-and-run crash on the 134 freeway turns into an armed manhunt in a local neighborhood. Police and CHP officers swarming the area. A woman shot, a man arrested in his boxer shorts. So much chaos unfolding all at once.
What?
Leanne Suter is live in Eagle Rock tonight with how it all played out. Leanne.
Indeed, Mark, a chaotic afternoon here in this very quiet Eagle Rock neighborhood. As you said, one hit-and-run suspect taken into custody in his boxers. An armed homeowner shot by the LAPD just moments ago. We heard from the department telling us that those officers gave...
Wait, the cops shot the wrong person. Am I hearing that correctly? Because they're kind of tap dancing around it.
Leanne.
Indeed, Mark, a chaotic afternoon here in this very quiet Eagle Rock neighborhood. As you said, one hit-and-run suspect taken into custody in his boxers. An armed homeowner shot by the LAPD just moments ago. We heard from the department telling us that those officers gave that woman repeated commands to drop the gun.
What?
Armed officers swarm an Eagle Rock neighborhood on the hunt for 3 hit-and-run suspects.
A guy was running down the freeway, so we took off to see if this guy was part of the accident or what happened with the accident.
Aaron Lewis from Stain.
So I got out my car, I chased him down the side of the freeway, across the freeway, over a couple of fences.
In the midst of the chaos, an armed homeowner ends up shot by the LAPD. The bizarre drama began on the eastbound 134 when the 3 suspects were involved in a serious crash that sent one driver to the hospital with moderate injuries. The men running from the scene.
I saw a gentleman walking on the shoulder, and so my brother and I went over and assumed that...
I don't think this is Texas. I think this is California.
He started to run when we confronted him, and so we chased him.
The men disappearing into the neighborhood near the freeway. One believed to be the driver, stripping down to his boxers and apparently blend in by watering the lawn. Officers taking him into custody. As the manhunt continued for the other two suspects, a female homeowner walked out of her house on Eagle Vista Drive carrying a gun. Officers opened fire, hitting her in the shoulder. It's unclear if she fired her weapon. The woman and a babysitter in the house came out with their hands up. The homeowner then rushed to the hospital. Moments later, a young boy who was also in the home when the gunfire erupted came out with his hands up. The homeowner's injury not life-threatening. The violent encounter, though, now under investigation. In this neighborhood.
I need that video again. Him watering the plant.
I got out my car. I chased him down the side of the freeway, across the freeway, over a couple of fences.
In the midst of the chaos, an armed homeowner ends up shot by the LAPD. The bizarre drama began on the eastbound 134 when the three suspects were involved in a serious crash that sent one driver to the hospital with moderate injuries. The men running from the scene.
I saw a gentleman walking on the shoulder, and so
You got a 2A hat.
went over and assumed that he was leaving the scene of an accident, and he started to run when we confronted him.
By his arm.
Chased him.
The men disappearing into the neighborhood near the freeway. One believed to be the driver, stripping down to his boxers and apparently trying to blend in by watering the lawn. Officers quickly taking him into custody. As the manhunt continued for the other two suspects, a female homeowner.
Do we have like the video somewhere of this?
Carrying a gun. Officers opened fire, hitting her in the shoulder. It's unclear if she fired her weapon. The woman and a babysitter in the house came out with their hands up. The homeowner then rushed to the hospital. Moments later, a young boy who was also in the home when the gunfire erupted came out with his hands up. The homeowner's injury not life-threatening. The violent encounter, though, now under investigation. In this neighborhood expected to be shut down for some time as authorities investigate that officer-involved shooting. Again, at this point, they aren't sure if that woman fired her weapon, but they say what
they didn't take it live.
Body-worn camera from those officers is that they gave repeated commands for her to drop the weapon. Live in Eagle Rock, Lee Hyun-Suter, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great
Mark Brown.
content by clicking the subscribe.
Really appreciate you, my friend. Okay, like this apparently just happening in the last couple of hours. Also out in LA. LA is where all the fun stuff happens out on the roads.
Of the motorist who just started doing donuts right there on the 10 freeway during rush hour traffic. Ouch. He says he thought the driver simply just was suffering from some sort of mental health breakdown. Here's more.
What is this guy doing?
A driver suddenly began doing donuts on the eastbound 10 freeway near the Fraser Street off-ramp in Baldwin Park around 4:30 yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I think the guy was having a nervous breakdown or mental crisis or something.
It wasn't happening today.
He was in the area and noticed
yesterday.
motorists driving erratically.
Whoa.
So this car ran into a semi. And that's like, what's wrong? Is this an accident? Are they filming Fast and the Furious or something? And that's when I started getting a little bit worried. So I pulled out my phone and I started recording.
With traffic at a complete standstill, Rigo felt it was safe to record the incident with his cell phone.
At that point, I saw him ramming into the semi again and then started doing donuts.
In the middle of the highway?
Yeah, in the middle of the highway. So all the cars backed off. I was the first one kind of like...
I would like you own it.
And I thought maybe he was having like a medical issue or something, but then I just saw him spinning over and over again doing donuts. Like, okay, this guy's doing it intentionally.
Rigo says he then saw a motorcycle officer move in to deal with the tense situation.
The officer on the motorcycle, it seemed like he was hesitant. First of all, I'm surprised
he's
he
a pussy.
Unholster his weapon. He was kind of like, walking toward the guy calmly.
Total coward.
Moved in as the man got out of his wrecked vehicle, put his hands behind his head, and immediately got on the ground and started rolling around on the ground. The officer blurting out commands.
And the officer just basically like, okay, I'll just handcuff you.
I shouldn't laugh at these people.
I was like, oh no, please, dude, please. I was worried because I was afraid he was going to get shot. I thought it could have been a maybe suicide by cop.
I did.
Yeah, Tuesdays can be hard.
Patrol, and they tell me they are aware of the situation on the freeway up here and that it is under investigation, and that's all they would tell me. Live in Baldwin.
I wonder if there are more suicides on a Monday and a Tuesday.
Hopefully he's getting some help. Leo, thank you for that report.
I bet there is like a fact about that. Like there's more suicide. Like you would think there'd be less on the weekend, but maybe there'd be more on the weekend because people feel left out and everybody else is out doing things. I don't know. It's kind of like there's more suicides on Christmas. I'm sorry. I should like put the suicide awareness hotline or some shit in the chat. I said I was gonna do that because like I've never had to deal with suicidal ideation. I can't imagine what that would be like, and my heart goes out to people that do deal with it. So I shouldn't mock it. I ain't done, Lenny. I ain't done by a long shot.
A wild pursuit sent sparks flying as LAPD units chased a shooting suspect who refused to stop. That suspect, driving a big blue Ram pickup, hit several vehicles last night across the San Fernando Valley. The driver eventually stopped near the intersection of Laurel Canyon and San Fernando Mission Boulevard. The driver tried to walk away but was quickly arrested.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
Hey, Mark Brown. Oh, yeah. You spoke too soon, Lenny. Oh, do you want to? Okay, this is a sad one. I really gotta get it together here. We've got the cell phone video of 4 women who were apparently having a party in the car, drinking and speeding before a crash that killed 3 of them. We've got the cell phone video, like they're recording themselves.
Right now in Lake County, Florida Highway Patrol says this video is at the center of their investigation into a deadly crash over the weekend. Troopers claim 4 women were drinking while speeding. 3 of them died. Another is in the hospital tonight in critical condition. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is live at the hospital in Orlando. And
hold on, what did it say? Oh, it says before the crash that ejected the 4 women from a vehicle reveals that they were joyfully speeding at 116 miles per hour. Before the wreckage.
Another is in the hospital tonight in critical condition. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is live at the hospital in Orlando. And Randy, you spoke to the sole survivor's mother. What did she say?
Yeah, good evening to you, Luann. Spoke with her late this afternoon, and she described her daughter as a fighter, and she is certainly fighting for her life right now. As you mentioned, we have video that has been confirmed by FHP that they are using as part of this investigation. I want to warn viewers that some of this video may not be.
This is in Orlando.
For younger viewers. As FHP says, one of the women that you will see in this video is one of the women who was killed.
Speeds appearing to top 100 miles per hour. And alcohol passed around the vehicle. Florida Highway Patrol says this video is now part of their investigation into this weekend's deadly crash in Lake County.
In that vehicle, if the video ends up being exactly what our investigators are able to prove, there was a lot of distraction in that car for the driver and for the other passengers.
State troopers say the crash happened early Sunday morning along State Road 19.
Did they not kill anybody else? Because fucking that's lucky.
Investigators say the driver failed to negotiate a curve, ran off the road, hit a pole, and flipped several times. They say no one was wearing a seatbelt and everyone was thrown from the Jeep. 3 people were killed: Kenesha Lewis, Octavia Pugh, and Shakayla Mathis. A 4th passenger, Mariah Belcher, is in the hospital.
My child is here, but it's 3 kids that lost their lives behind this. And I want their family to go through their grieving and not have to worry about my baby.
Mariah's mom says her daughter is still in critical condition but stable. She has a traumatic brain injury, fractured vertebrae in her neck, and suffered a spleen injury.
My whole ride from Alabama, all I can say is my child should live and not die. And she's fighting.
Marcia Knight says her daughter and her friends may have been leaving a party when they allegedly made the post on social media and crashed. She says it's hard watching that video and knowing a night of fun with friends ended like this.
The accountability.
There's no reason to be going that fast.
My daughter. Because if you knew this person had been drinking, you knew you guys were drinking before, there, after, why? You know what I'm saying? You know better.
FHP says they're still waiting on toxicology reports in this investigation. They also have to compare data from the vehicle to how fast the vehicle was recorded in that video. Investigators are also reminding you to wear your seatbelt.
And in a GoFundMe created for Kenesha Lewis, she is described as a mom of 5, and she is remembered as a sweet and loving woman. There was another GoFundMe created for the victim, Octavia Pugh, by her family, and they say they are heartbroken by this. And the entire community is heartbroken. The mayor of Eustis posted on Facebook today that there will be a prayer vigil this weekend on Sunday at 5 o'clock at Carver Park to honor all of these women. Reporting tonight, Randy Hildreth, Fox 35 News.
So sad, Randy. Thank you.
Americans are too dumb for an Autobahn. You're exactly right, Flash. Fun, fun, fun on the Autobahn. I ain't done yet. You ready for this one? Unfortunately, also about DUI. Why do drunk people like driving so much? I don't get it. Like, I have, drank and drive very rarely in my life, and it's always been, very little drinking. Or giving myself enough time to try to sober up enough, you know? I don't drive when I'm not in the right state of mind. This woman has been dubbed the Screaming Banshee.
Are you kidding? This screeching woman has a long history of arrests. The charges range from drunk and disorderly conduct to assaulting police officers. Her outlandish behavior has earned her the title Screaming Banshee.
Let me be the one to introduce you to the so-called Screaming Banshee.
I want an attorney! You saw me! You were there! This arrest took place in January in Hoboken, New Jersey. Yeah, I know the law. She screamed the entire way to the police station. Let me out! Do it! In this incident in Garwood, New Jersey, 3 months earlier, cops respond to calls of an out-of-control female. Of course! She was arrested for allegedly attempting to attack officers and high levels of intoxication.
I love this woman.
She tells police she's in
Now is my dog.
her rights.
I can't wait till I pass the bar exam. That's another lawsuit coming.
Welcome in, friend.
Still coming.
As each arrest is caught on police body cam, comes more screaming.
I got way more training than you do.
But her string of arrests have finally taken a tragic turn.
No.
Cops say she drunkenly killed an elderly gentleman who was out for a ride on his moped. A sober 32-year-old Lauren Mullins appeared in a Cambridge, Massachusetts courtroom.
She might be my cousin.
There's no screaming, just the defendant in tears. I spoke to the niece of 73-year-old Daniel O'Neill, who cops say she hit with her SUV.
I learned that there was years and years of just drunk, disorderly conduct, assaulting police officers. It's really just mind-blowing.
What does justice look like for your family?
I don't think she should be able to carry on with her life when she took a life.
Are you kidding?
I won't watch it again.
From drunk and disorderly conduct to assaulting police officers. Her outlandish behavior has earned her the title Screaming Banshee.
Let me be the one to introduce you to the so-called Screaming Banshee.
I want an attorney! You saw me! You were there! This arrest took place in January in Hoboken, New Jersey.
In Hoboken!
She screamed the entire way to the police station.
Let me out! Do it!
In this incident in Garwood, New Jersey, 3 months earlier, cops respond to calls of an out-of-control female.
Of course!
She was arrested for allegedly attempting to attack officers and high levels of intoxication.
I know my rights.
She tells police she's in law school and knows her rights.
Ooh, question marks. That'd be good.
Lawsuit coming.
She is a bastard.
Lawsuit coming.
As each arrest
Lawsuit coming.
body cam comes more screaming.
I got way more Trinity than you do. Ow, ow, ow!
But her string of arrests have finally taken a tragic turn.
I should not laugh at her. She had a bad drinking problem.
Elderly Boston gentleman who was out for
And
a
it's
ride
cost her
on his
everything.
moped. A sober 32-year-old Lauren Mullins appeared in a Cambridge, Massachusetts courtroom. On this day, there's no screaming, just the defendant.
That's sad.
Tears. I spoke to the niece of 73.
She just needed a guy like the Freak Daddy. Oh my God. Dude, what is using my government name? And it's INS. Man, I'm doxing myself. What the hell? That's what my eyes look like too. Get really high off of the bong at the beginning of the show. I've really got the munchies now. Young buck arrested and booked into a Tennessee jail. He's back in a familiar spot at jail in Tennessee. This time, it's over some missed meetings with his bond supervisor, the G-Unit rapper. Did she have an E in her name? Because then she ain't my cousin. Was booked into the jail. But, I can kind of see the resemblance, right? He was booked into the jail on Monday afternoon in Sumner County for 30 days. Eric Malden, Assistant District Attorney for Sumner County, tells TMZ that young buck was supposed to meet twice a month with his supervisor while on bond supervision with GPS monitoring for 2 cases, a drug case and a domestic violence case. Because of that, the DA has filed a motion for a hearing which took place on April 7th. During the hearing, the judge sentenced young buck to 30 days in the county jail. I don't know that I've ever listened to young buck.
I didn't do it. Straight up.
He says he didn't do it.
It's a situation that was old. It's
Sumner County.
2016.
He's in his 50s?
Situation in the domestic. It was never.
That is sad.
Where there was no physical contact with me putting my hands on a woman. I got 4 girls, and I don't condone no man putting his hands on mine, so therefore I would never in my life put my hands on no man's woman. Honestly, to be all the way honest, I'm still with the girl. We're still together. It was more of an argument, a big argument. There was never a physical situation.
44?
When the door was kicked, it wasn't like I came in the house.
He ain't so young buck anymore now, is he?
I was gone. I didn't kick no door, but the door did get kicked. You understand what I'm saying? And
it wasn't me, it was Shaggy.
My own door, because I stayed there at the time. It was my place, so I basically kicked my own door. This situation stems from the same DA that actually sent me to prison. The powers that make these things like this.
Does it just seem like he's been around that long?
Come from somebody in that position. And this situation is a state situation. I went to federal prison.
It's still sad in your 40s.
Federal prison. This is a state situation. So the actual same DA, of course, is not the DA that's on this situation. But hey, small world.
It is a small world. It's a small world after all. It's true. It is sad at any age. The answer to the question is no, but I want to pose it anyway just because it's kind of fun. Did Dwayne Johnson threaten to punch Elon Musk if he doesn't leave America alone? Apparently that was a rumor that went around on the internet. The claim was that Dwayne Johnson threatened to punch Elon Musk if he doesn't leave America alone. A Facebook user posted shocking drama. The Rock unexpectedly threads. It's just somebody's Facebook post. That's the citation here. The article claimed that the actor apparently had made the statement on social media, prompting Musk to respond with a thinking face emoji. There's no evidence to prove that such an incident happened. Be a lot cooler if you did. Yeah, that would make me like The Rock, actually. That would make me like The Rock. Somebody needs to stop fucking with America. The woke's got a hold of America. I got this one for you tonight. Where did I pull this one from? This kid is really upset because flags are missing from the school.
A Baltimore County student and prospective U.S. Marine is fighting back against his school system after he says he was treated unlawfully.
Every Maryland classroom is supposed to have an American flag displayed inside. As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explained,
why?
Some of Parker Jensen's classrooms didn't have a flag. But when he tried to learn why, apparently he got disciplined.
I would assume that the reason they don't have a flag is like it's not in the flag budget. There ain't no flag money in the fucking budget for schools. Like the people that have flags in their room probably like paid for them out of their own fucking pocket.
Yes, sir.
Parker Jensen.
Yes, sir.
Is a senior at Towson High School.
Yes, sir.
In a few months, the 18-year-old will be graduating.
Yes, sir.
But he doesn't plan on attending college.
No, sir.
Instead,
I'm joining the Marine Corps, and patriotism has always been a big thing of mine.
And with that in mind, Jensen recently noticed something that concerned him about his high school.
So I'm only in 2 classes, but both of my classes do not have American flags.
Which is a problem because Baltimore County School Board Policy 6307 and Maryland Education Code 7-105 require the American flag to be displayed in each classroom.
That's a stupid fucking law.
High school has classrooms without a flag. That's a violation of state law and board policy.
If you say a Pledge of Allegiance and there's no flag, you're just saying words. It needs to mean something.
So in February,
they are just words.
Tells Project Baltimore, he went to Towson High School's vice principal, who said he would look into the issue. In March, Jensen says he went back to his vice principal because his classrooms still did not have a flag. A few weeks later, with nothing being done, Jensen took his concerns to his principal's bosses.
As soon as you open up the door, publicly accessible.
On March 28th, Jensen withdrew from his class that day and went to the Baltimore County Board of Education building, asking to speak with someone about the missing flags.
Hi, how can I help you?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I was looking to speak to a supervisor of some sort for...
Oh my God!
Baltimore County Public Schools.
I want to speak to your supervisor.
I was hoping, and I thought that someone would just come out, speak with me for 5 minutes, and then I'd be on my way.
But that did not happen.
I have a Towson High School lacrosse shirt on. I have my student ID.
Jensen waited for nearly an hour while recording.
I have every right to be here and recording. They are recording us at all times.
But an administrator never came out to speak with him.
3 cop cars.
Rather,
3 cop cars for a kid.
All right,
4 cop. Damn, what the?
Now that is excessive.
Sorry for my language. That's just crazy to me.
It is crazy.
That's a waste of resources.
But also, like,
BCP.
It's not special for him. They always roam in packs like that. That's just what they do, especially if they got nothing else going on. Yeah, Flash. Like, supposedly it's for their safety, and they'll always have another cop, like, back them up. Like, so if they are in the process of detaining someone, they'll have another cop back them up. But like, if they're just fucking, they're all responding to the call because they all heard the call. They were in the area and they had nothing to do.
Yes, called the police on one of their own students for trespassing.
Yes, they're charging you with trespassing.
Oh, they are charging me with trespassing.
Yeah, that's weird.
PS declined an interview with Fox 45 News, saying it cannot discuss specific student records or disciplinary action. But the school system did state in an email regarding Towson High School, as of April 1st, flags have been installed in the classrooms that did not have them.
Well, it's important for me to have kids be able to express their patriotism.
Jensen's efforts got results, though he will not be in school for a while to see it for himself. On March 28th, while standing in that parking lot, BCPS immediately suspended this Marine hopeful for a week.
You're actually suspended from the school. He used to be with this and the fuckers.
Suspended for disrupting.
Is there more that we don't know about?
Cooperate with school rules and failure to follow a direction.
I was very frustrated. I feel like what they did was unlawful. You know, we have the right to record.
I kind of feel like what they did was unlawful.
It just shines a bad light. What I believe I was doing was lawful, and I had a reason to be there. And the only reason why they would suspend me is because they know that they're in the wrong.
Jensen does not believe this incident will impact him joining the U.S. Marines, but he is taking legal action.
I'm wondering if something was left out.
To challenge his suspension and the trespassing charge, saying that what happened to him is unconstitutional. We have reached out to his attorney.
I don't know about that.
Hope to speak with them soon. We'll keep you posted. I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
But who knows what you can get away with in fucking Trump's America? I have no idea. I feel like now is a good time since he's bringing it up. We should all put our hands on our hearts and we should say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you very, very much for letting us little kids live here. It really, really was nice of you.
Twitch people, stick around. We're going to watch Whitest Kids You Know.
And it's really not freaky to have little kids mindlessly recite this anthem every day and pledge their life to a government before they're old enough to really think about what they're saying. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is really the greatest country in the whole world. All the other countries suck. And if this country ever goes
Good night, Lenny.
as it often wants to do, I
Paradigm Shift, my man.
go and kill all the other countries' kids. God bless Johnson & Johnson. God bless GE. God bless Citigroup. Amen.
Very good, kids. Now come and get your Ritalin.
Twitch people, we're gonna watch Whitest Kids You Know. I guess I'm in a fucking patriotic mood or something tonight. Let me give you a fucking bald eagle for your animal video. This bald eagle apparently wanted to eat some dog. This bald eagle wanted to eat a dog. It is gorgeous.
There's a bald eagle on our deck. Does it want to eat Noki?
It wants to, probably.
Wow.
Is Noki the name of the dog, or are they having Noki for dinner?
She's tagged.
Yeah, look at her leg.
Carry our dog away?
Oh, hell yeah, she could.
Oh.
She could carry the dog away. Shelton, Washington. Shelton, Washington. That is one majestic fucking bird. It's mean looking too. Hey, it wants to fight that dog, doesn't it? It is amazing. Like, look how big it is. Look at those feathers. It is so pretty. You get puppy and eagle in this video. It's Northern Washington. You're watching on, I thought I've been on Facebook. Apparently I haven't been. I tried to fix it and it still didn't work, I don't think. So I don't think I'm on Facebook, but Kick, Rumble, YouTube, podcast people, light one up, tip one back. Troll Patrol tomorrow night.